Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. The nights are drawing in, it will be getting dark soon and we need to start talking about torches or flashlights. And this is something directly from requests from you guys. As I try to, as much as possible, I try to look into the stuff that you've asking about, and I'm really chuffed with this one, especially for the people that mentioned this one to me. I got in touch with my friends at Nitecore and asked them, and I keep having to look at it because I keep remembering the name of I keep forgetting the name of this. This is the MT1C Pro. It's an awesome wee little tactical light. What was the name of that book? Was it The Train That Could? This is the tactical light that could. It really is a cracking little light, and let's take a closer look. Now, quick look around the box before we have a look on the inside. Fairly typical Nitecore packaging. They do make nice packaging, but at the end of the day, you know, it's just a box. You're probably going to throw it away. Some information on here. This does use their UHI, the newer UHI LEDs, which produce a little bit. Well, they produce a lot more light through a lot more throw, but also because of the way that they're created, helps to reduce the amount of power that they use, which again is great. 1000 lumens up to 360 meters throw. This one does come with a rechargeable battery. We will have a look at that, but it shows you on here. So you get the battery included, you get a charging cable and a lanyard. These are all within the box. A little bit of information here on the end, and then some more on the side here with your lumens, your distance. Your maximum candela on this is 32,500, and your IP rating on this, you can drop it and from a meter, submerge it up to 2 meters. Yeah, IP rating on this is really good. So on the inside here is the light. Let's just take that out and put that to one side for a second. And then on the inside here, so there is your cable. You get an O-ring, a lanyard, some warranty information, and you also get the instructions, which I'm just using for my notes today. So let's just put that away. And here we have, let's make sure we can get this in focus. Apologies if we do go out of focus. So here we have the light itself. Now, one thing you will probably notice, especially when I have it in my hand like this, it is nice and small. For an EDC light, the size of this really is perfect for just something that slips into your pocket. It's easy to find in your pocket because it's a good size, but it is a light that isn't as cumbersome and as large as some other ones. As far as the length of this is concerned, it comes in at 88 millimeters from the bezel here on the end to the tail cap. Although it's not really a tail cap, the whole shaft of this unscrews. The diameter of the head is 26 millimeters, but the actual tube diameter, the smaller this comes down to, it does come down to 21 millimeters, and then it flares back up again to the tail. So the head was 26, but the tail isn't as wide, it comes in at 24 millimeters. It's constructed from high-grade aluminium, which gives it some great properties. One is the fact that it's reasonably light. With the battery not in here, it comes in at 53 grams. But with the newer kind of variants of aluminium, it also means that it's nice and tough as well. As far as the IP rating, I know I mentioned that you can submerge this up to 2 meters, drop it from a meter, and it should still work perfectly. It has been tested for both dust and water, so this is IP68 or IP68. The 6 is the highest that you can get for consumer electronics for its dust rating, and the 8 is the highest that you can get for consumer electronics for its water rating. Now, as I turn this round, you may notice that there isn't a charging port on here. So to unscrew this, now I know I mentioned the tail cap, it's actually the head unit that unscrews. So if I unscrew this, you'll be able to see the battery on the inside. So this is one of Nitecore's 18350 batteries, and it is a rechargeable battery, which is the same as a CR123 or an RCR123 if you get one of the rechargeable ones. So you can use any of those style batteries within here. You will get a slight variance in the amount of lumens that you can get out from it at a maximum. So a lot of the measurements or a lot of the lumen levels, when we go down to the pond tonight to have a look at this, I'll give you them with the the battery that's included in this, but you might find if this runs out and you've got a CR123 and you put that in, you might notice that there's a difference, but it will fit all of those. Now, I did say that this is one of Nitecore's 18350 batteries. By that I just mean that they manufacture this. It isn't a proprietary one that you do get with some other batteries. I've tested this with 4 other 18350 batteries and they all work flawlessly, no issues whatsoever, whether they're the rechargeable ones where you have a USB Type-C port on it like this one, or they're the ones that you put into like a traditional kind of recharging dock. They all work fine, but this is a 1600 milliamp hour battery. Slides in. Now I do this a lot actually, so when it's in there you can see there's the O-ring that's on there, and they also put a bit of grease or oil, whatever it is that they put on here to help with that stopping water from getting in. Now I do this a lot mainly because it was my granddad. He used to do this to kind of see how the machining is done. So I'll get this on, so it's just engaged with that first thread. So I'll turn it halfway round. There is no play, none whatsoever in this. Really, really good machining. There's your full, it's getting tighter. We're now at the point where the gasket's on there, so there's a little bit of tension. Screw it on, and it's on there, good and safe. Now, actually looking around the light itself, on the front here, it doesn't have what you'd consider to be a striking bezel. I think the main reason for that is generally down to the size. If this was a little bit longer so that you could strike something with it, then that would make sense. But even for my hand, so I have a medium to large size hand, it fits in there and I've still got this flesh on the outside. So if I was to try and strike something with that, I'd probably end up pinching it and doing myself some damage. But again, I don't mind that. It means that you can sit it down. It'll, not that you probably would put it that way, but I don't think that that's needed. Coming down the head, hopefully you'll be able to see here, so you have these ridges on here, one there to mitigate some of the heat. Now I will say, with this only being 1000 lumens, it doesn't produce an awful lot of heat, so it's great that one, you don't necessarily have to worry about it, but if you did have it on for a prolonged period of time and it did start to get warm, this would start to help to dissipate some of that heat. But it's also useful so that you can hold this when you have it out there like that. It's actually really good to have just a couple of fingers around there and then hold on to it, and it's just about right. If you were to put the lanyard on here, then it would give you an extra little bit of grip if you use the lanyard to be able to hold it with that baby finger. Coming down through the shaft, through the body here, there's some nice knurling on here, again, just to give you a little bit of grip. I think this is mainly for being able to take it out of your pocket, if it's in a bag, to be able to grip it and to be able to pull it out, or when you're taking the head off to swap any of the batteries. I don't think, unless maybe you were a wizard who will not be named, you'd hold it like this. It'd look a little bit kind of weird. But I think it's a feature that's on a lot of lights, and it does just give it an extra kind of little bit of grip. There is a pocket clip on here. Now it's just a one-directional pocket clip. You can pass this through something and it will grip onto it. There are some screws on here, so if you wanted to reduce this down, maybe reduce the weight on here, if you were after something that's a little bit more minimal because you want it to fit into something specifically, you can take this off. Generally, if it is a removable pocket clip, I tend to take them off anyway, but I will say with this one that it just fits nicely in your hand. But if you wanted to, you definitely could take that off. There's just those 3 screws there, and then put the 3 screws back in. In fact, looking through the inside, so there's probably just enough room there that if you did want to take it off, the threads wouldn't come through that this kind of skirt around here, around the button. So you'd be able to put those screws back in and be able to keep the screws on there. Now hopefully you'll be able to see on the end here, so you do have, sorry, a fly just flew straight into my eye, stupid thing. You do have some holes here, if this is where you'll be able to attach your lanyard to here. But what this also does is it acts as just something to stop dirt and grime from being able to be able to get caught into here around the button. It also, though, if you do need to tail stand this, so you can put it down, you can put it onto a side, you can do that umbrella light thing where you shine it up at the ceiling and it helps to flood the area around you. You can do that and it will tail stand. If you're after something with a magnetic end, the button is here on the end and you have this really small area. Unfortunately, this does not magnetize to something. This just simply isn't the light for you, which is a shame, but it's just not that kind of a light. There's lots of other decent lights that you can magnetize those. As far as the UI is concerned, it's all done through this one end. The button is rubbery. It feels really nice when you click on it. The actual UI is incredibly simple with this, and it's very similar to how a lot of lights have this. You click it once, it will turn it on. You click it again, it will turn it off. You can do like a half press and it gives you momentary on and off. There isn't a double press, a triple press, a quadruple press to give you the time and date. Nothing like that. It's a very simple on and off. When you turn it on, by default, it will come on to its high mode, its turbo mode, which is your 1000 lumens. For a tactical light like this, if you watch a lot of max level EDC, Dom on there, one of his big things for tactical lights is you have to be able to get instant access to a turbo mode, however the function works. I think this would work well under Dom's kind of scheme on is it tactical, because you turn it on, it will always come on by default to its highest setting, which is 1000 lumens. When you turn it off, it will turn off, and you turn it back on again, it will come back on to its 1000 lumens. Now there is a lower lumen setting on this, which is low, and that's 50 lumens. Now to do that, you have to turn it on, turn it off and back on again within a few seconds. If you turn it on and back on again, here we're on low and this is your 50 lumens. If I turn this off and leave it for a few seconds, turn it back on again, it will come back on to high. If I turn this off and leave it off for a few seconds and turn it back on again, it will come off back on to high. So it's important that if you do want that low, you have to turn it on, off, and then back on again, and then you have your low setting. And that's it. That is the UI. It is so easy. Very similar to a lot of other lights that just have very simple streamlined functions on here. And that's one of the things that I do like about small lights like this. It does have that tactical option of being able to make sure that you can blind somebody if you need to. But like most of us, I tend to use the low setting a lot more than any other setting. So with a quick double press, you're on to, now I say double press, I don't mean like a, you have to turn it on, turn it off, turn it back on again. You just have to do it very quickly. I know on other lights, when we talk about UI, we talk about double presses. It is a double press. I just want to make sure that I reiterate, you have to turn it off and then back on again within a second. But yes, you have access to that. Love this. Now let's see how this works in the dark. Well, it's midnight, but it is reasonably light tonight, uncharacteristically light. But we're down at the fishing lake. Now, as mentioned with this, the UI is incredibly simple. If I click this on, it comes on, and by default, it comes on onto its turbo mode, or the highest setting that you can possibly have. The turbo mode on this. Now, I'll give you some extra information on this. So that the light, or at least the battery that it comes with, if you use the battery that it comes with, you'll get 1000 lumens by default. You can use a rechargeable CR123 battery with this instead, if you have one of your own, and that will put it at around about 800 lumens. Or you can use just a normal CR123 battery, and that'll be 500 lumens, and that's on this. Now, as we usually are, where we usually stand, tree here, about 10 meters away, opposite side, about 20-25 meters away. Hopefully you can see with this. This is, yeah, uber bright. Have absolutely no issues whatsoever being able to see the opposite side. Now to switch then again back, if I want to have this on the low mode, I just need to turn it off, turn it back on again, and this is on its low mode. So with this one, you get 50 lumens. Here's that tree again, and then here we are on the opposite side of the lake. So I can still see that, see that tree. Hopefully you'll be able to see with this. As far as the candela is concerned, it does have a reasonably high candela. If I put this back on here, so it really does make a nice and warm spot. Now I mentioned those different batteries. So this is always 50 on its lowest settings. So whether you have the battery that's included with this, a rechargeable CR123, or just a regular CR123, it will always be 50 lumens on its lowest mode. Now I'm going to put it back up onto the high mode, because as I usually do, so I've got this pointing into the lake here. If I 45 degrees to the left and back again, 45 degrees to the right and back again. Now hopefully you'll be able to see here that it does have a very defined skirt, and if I bring here and shine it down on the floor, it's incredibly easy to be able to see that warm spot there. It's also got a very good throw on this as well. It's over 300 meters, so I can see the ornamental waterfall here, but then I can also see the top fishing lake that's just up at the top there as well. Being able to look up into the trees, seeing the canopy here. And I'll say as well, so I know this is something that a lot of people have asked about. The colour on this, there doesn't seem to be a lot of secondary colour. I can't see any yellows, I can't see any greens in this. I will say it is a very nice colour. I wouldn't say it's a warm colour, but yes. So just holding this out again, moving this left and right, you can see that beam, and then again turn it off, turn it back on again. Now we're on low, which is our 50 lumens. So yeah, so there you go. The MT1C Pro is an awesome little light. I like these lights more than I like some of the larger super uber tactical lights. For me, it's a perfect balance of EDC, out of use, out of the features as well. You get a lot of lights that have got 6 different lumen levels that flash, that do all the other. And in the EDC world, we turn our lights on, we have a look around, oh, there it is, and you go and pick it up. I mean, let's be honest. Seriously, let's be honest about this. That's generally what we do, isn't it? I think the fact that you can go instant turbo with this is really the beauty of this. If you need to startle someone, fight or flight, you need to be able to either get away, or you need to be able to do whatever it is that you need to do in a tactical self-defense kind of situation. It's got exactly what you need. But on that EDC side of it, it's not too big. It fits in your pocket. It's almost perfect. It doesn't overheat. It's just, yeah, I'm kind of gushing on this one. I look at a lot of flashlights on my channel, and some of them are genuinely really nice, but there's a lot of features on there that you just simply will never use. A small pint size light like this with a lot of punch does everything that you need, and I'm kind of glad that you guys recommended it. They do a bigger version of this as well. They do one with an 18650 battery as well, so maybe I'll have a look at that one next, and then we can maybe compare the two as well. But yeah, really enjoy reading the comments. I try and read as many comments as I can. I try and reply back to as many as I can, but I definitely read all of the comments. So if there are other lights out there you'd like me to have a look at, I like hearing those suggestions, and I'll see if I can pick them up or get in touch with the company and see if I can get one to test out. Now I do want to say a huge thank you to Nitecore. They did send this to me, I reached out to them. I've got a great relationship with them. If I didn't like this, you just simply wouldn't see this content, or you would see the content after I'd spoken to them about things that I would possibly change about this. There's nothing that I'd change. If you could, yeah, okay, if there was a way that you could do some like quadruple click so that you could change it so that it came on low first and then went up to high, that would be nice. But I think the balance with this is actually just about right. The turbo on it, when it's shone in somebody's face, is enough to, you know, startle them, to blind them. But when you're just using it to be able to find things, as I mentioned, you know, we turn it, oh, it's over there, and then, you know, you go and find whatever it is that you've lost in the dark. I think the balance with this is actually just about right. But I know some people might prefer something to come on to low first, but this simply might not be the light for you. But if that option was there, that would be nice. But that's me genuinely picking faults where there aren't any faults. This is a great little light and highly recommended. So yes, huge thank you to Nitecore. I'll leave all of their links below. I'll also leave some of my social media links for me here on Moorlander EDC and my sister channel, Moorlander Tactical. And whether you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. Again, just to make sure. More twigs falling. I know there's nothing there, but it sounds like there's someone there. I've mentioned this in a few videos because I've recorded 5 pieces out while I'm out today. We had a big storm last night. None of the trees have fallen over, but we've had a lot of branches fall out of them. But half of them are like caught with the other branches, and then you've got all the wind and they fall, and you think, oh, someone, and there isn't actually anyone there. It's just skinwalkers. I mean, it's just leaves and crap falling out of trees. Are they called? Is it a skinwalker? Is that the thing that? Anyway, I don't think there are, but you know what I mean. There again. Today's blooper question is: personally, I think that they've struck a very good balance with this on features. Is there something that you would add though? That's it for me. Is there something that you would add, or maybe take away? Maybe, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. But that's it for today. I don't know when this is coming out. I'm really not sure when this is coming out. So I hope you all having a good week.